not just him, the entire crew got removed and traded for the 15 car, who had won 2 races. You know, things around him changed. Not only that, you have to look at the downward trend that Dale Earnhardt Incorporated was on at the time. So, like by 06 and 07, they as a team, they had fallen off a lot compared to 04. You know, I'm not saying that Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the best driver in NASCAR. I think he has more talent than I would say 75% of the drivers, if not 80 to 85%.
Okay,
straight up.
So let me pose something to you.
Okay.
And I'm not. This is just strictly hypothetical.
Okay.
Let's say, because his most successful years were with Yuri Sr., not Junior. Once again, Senior. For those of you listening, if they put, for whatever reason, he becomes free, and they put Yuri Sr. in the car at Hendrick Motorsports in the '88, and he continues to struggle, what do you say?
Are you asking me if I think he should be removed?
No, because that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to fire Dale Earnhardt.
Well,
Jr.
and I don't think he should be. What I would say is, first of all, you know, I know that Dale Earnhardt Jr. has the capability to be a front runner because he has shown he has. So I cannot.
5 years ago.
Still, he still has. And it wasn't just that 1 year. I mean, from 2000 to 2004, 5 years, he was one of the best drivers. Maybe not in 2000, but that was his rookie year. But as a rookie, I mean, he won races he won 2 in like the first 10 races, and he won the Winston, the first rookie to do that. I mean, there is definitely previously there's been shown that he has what it takes. Okay, and if you have it once, you don't lose it. It's like riding a bike. If you have the talent, you have the talent. Yuri Sr. I think is probably the best option right now. There's the possibility, I think, that Junior does not give good feedback. In that case, if he doesn't give good feedback, then the problem is him.
I remember you saying this yesterday.
In the sense that he
needs to learn how to give better feedback.
He needs to learn how to give better feedback. It's not a skill problem. It's a communication problem. And you know, I mean, does that mean he gets removed? Does that mean Yuri Sr. gets removed? Not necessarily. I think it's an extreme reaction to say Junior's the problem, and I think that if you look at him as a whole, he's proven that he has what it takes. So if he's proven that, there's something else amiss. There's got to be. At the same time, you know, if just say in 2 years he's got all the tools he needs, but Hendrick has taken a downwards trend, like we were just talking about with Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. You know, what if in 2 years Hendrick is a mid-level team all of a sudden, instead of like Roush seems to be a mid-level team right now instead of being a dominant team? These are all the things you got to look at. A team as a whole, and it's almost impossible to try to figure out who exactly is at fault or what is wrong. Because you can't just blame it on one person. It's not just Yuri Jr.'s fault. Right now, what I'm hearing from what I've been reading is that Lance McGrew is going to evaluate the team top to bottom, everybody that works for it, everybody that works in there. Brian Whitesell, the guy that runs the 588 shop, is going to work harder at keeping them together because apparently Yuri Jr. and Dale Jr. were happy as can be to work on their own without using any of the information from the other Hendrick teams or the 5 team and all that. So, I mean, if you take the team and make them more like the rest of Hendrick, I think you'll see them drive more like the rest of Hendrick. And I think yesterday they flashed that potential.
I agree.
In the middle of the race, they flashed that potential. They took a car that was not running well, and they made a top 5 car. And then they got behind something, and
they just fell off with the adjustments.
They fell off, and that's the difference between. And I hope that's because him and McGrew are just still learning each other, and that chemistry is still building. I think this is. I know I've gone forever here.
Keep going because I have a response to this.
And there's one more thing too. Is I think Junior has definitely when his car starts to fall off like that, I think part of him goes, here we go again, because it's happened so many times in the last year or so. I think he's a guy that is very emotional in the car. I think he needs somebody to build him up.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about this whole thing is. I really I don't want people listening or you. I mean, I know you don't think this, but I don't have a problem with Dale Earnhardt Jr. I used to many years ago when I was immature. I don't have a problem with Dale Earnhardt Jr. What I do have a problem with, and this is not his fault, so let me make that very clear. This is not his fault. I just have a problem with him. For example, like you even said a little bit ago with the ESPN broadcast, I have a problem with him being the focus of NASCAR when I don't think he's earned that. I don't think that's not his fault. Let me say that again. I have a problem with, and this is not with you or anybody. This is, for example, with the race analysis afterward. I have a problem with it all being about him when in reality he ran 12th. It was. That's what I have a problem with. I hope the team does better. I really want to see him doing better, and I think that's what will happen.
Well, and the funny thing about this is, what he is the face of NASCAR, and he may not have earned it on the track, but the reason he's the face of NASCAR is because
of his name.
The fans have made him the face of NASCAR, and the media has made him the face of NASCAR. I mean, when I say that, what I mean by that is when you reach a level of stardom that he has reached for whatever reason, you might want to test him, and some of it has been on track to success because there has been some. I mean, I think he doesn't have as many fans if he comes out and falls flat in his face in his rookie year instead of winning a couple of races and all that. That the TV networks are going to focus on him because the majority of the fans, which means even if that's like 40% want to see him as opposed to the 30% that want to see
I know what
Stewart.
you mean. But you don't mean what you mean by majority is not 51-49. You mean I know what you mean.
More fans want to see Junior than fans that want to see Gordon or Johnson or Stewart, so on and so forth.
Which all have a lot of fans, exactly.
Yeah, that it becomes the point that so the TV wants ratings, so they can get advertising, so they're going to play to the majority of people who will watch, and so they will focus on him. And that's not his fault. I mean, we did this. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I technically am part of it. I want to hear about Dale Jr. It doesn't hurt my feelings to see him covered in the race, especially yesterday when I had a very big interest in seeing what is he doing right now? What are the communications? How are they talking to each other? Those are all things that are important to me as a fan of him, and I cannot blame anybody else for not liking the fact that they do that. But I'm not going to be upset that they did do that.
Like. As much as everybody that listens to this show and you and everybody knows that I do not like Kyle Busch, I think he's earned the attention for sure.
Well, and right now he's been running as one of his team, and his success in the last year and a half have dictated that he gets attention. He's got more than he needs right now because every time they talk about him, the announcers just gush over how great he is. And they just love him so much. And it's just like, seriously, guys, just chill.
It'll be interesting because my whole thing, just to kind of put a period on this with Junior, is I don't like to see a teammate of my favorite drivers or somebody that I genuinely think is a decent person and a good guy and a good racer fall flat on his face and struggle for a year and a half. If they continually if this were a year from now and they continually swap crew chiefs and there's still an issue, then maybe you need to look at overhauling the team, not the driver, but the team. And just I think that this is a very big step in the right direction, and I would not be surprised if next weekend he runs same top 10 maybe.
And as I understand it too, McGrew is the interim crew chief. He is not the guy that's going to be there next year unless he gives them a reason to be.
I was going to say if they win 4 or 5 races,
and if he wins like 3 races in the rest of the season and like makes a chase after all this, then McGrew will be there next year. But I think the point is that I think Hendrick, honestly, I told my dad this yesterday, that I think Hendrick's going to go out and try to find a name crew chief. And I say that as...
Name, you mean big name?
Yeah, somebody people know. And to that I say, I'm pretty sure Ray Evernham's not doing nothing right now.
You heard it here. That's what I say to that. You heard it here.
You heard it here. Yeah, I have no insight. This is honestly, I don't think Ray Evernham's gonna crew chief him next year, but I think that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
That'd be awesome. I'd love to see Ray Evernham as Junior's crew chief.
Because he didn't leave Hendrick on a bad note or anything. He just wanted to pursue his own.
No, it was more like disinterest more than anything.
Well, because he had blatantly said,
I'm tired of winning, guys. I'm gonna go somewhere else where I won't win so much.
He in so many words blatantly said, I have done everything I can do. I'm kind of bored.
Yeah. Well, and he has. I mean, they won 500s. They won championships. They won everything. They've dominated the series for 4 years or something like that. I mean, he's probably ready to go on and do something else. But anyway, we're off topic. We're not off topic at all. Well, I thought that was a very tangent. That was very good. Hopefully we got some people like listening to it. Like, I'm on this side. No, I'm on this side. No, I'm on this side. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was actually a lot longer. We spent a half hour on NASCAR today.
I'm surprised you're still surprised.
Well, it's because it seems like there's not that much to talk about until we end up filling it in with more stuff.
What's funny is, for those of you that obviously didn't know, you weren't with us yesterday, we had a discussion very similar to that yesterday. I'm surprised we recreated it as well as we did.
Yeah, well, it's because I get very testy when you're like, it's Junior's the problem. I'm like, nuh-uh. But anyway, there was big NBA news over the last week, especially, actually not even a week. It's been 5 days since we last recorded. And that night, I believe it was, in the days after that, First, we had Los Angeles Lakers,
That
who
night,
I
Wednesday
thought
night.
I thought they was going to go 7 games, ended up taking it in 6.
Yeah, and they